Alright, this is part 3 of the video game Tzar application. I mean, what I have up now is literally the definition. You know, everything uses AI overviews nowadays, which is odd, but whatever. Alright, this is part 3 on February 23rd, through 2025. Let's get into it. Cue fucking intro music now. Okay, whatever. Okay, so for representation of characters in games, you're allowed only 3 female characters under a 7 out of 10. We do this because we do not want ugly heifers in our game. It simply is unacceptable. We will not have this under any circumstances. No, but seriously, like this idea that in a visual medium, the visuals don't matter. I mean, okay, you have people who don't care, and it's like, okay, if you don't care, then you've exited yourself from the conversation. And the conversation is, why are we destroying a high standard placed by objectively better video games that were made 10, 15, 20 years ago for a standard now that serves nobody? A standard that people will say they're fine with just to believe they're the good person, they have the good opinion. But anyone between, if it's between the 4 out of 10 characters and the 7 out of 10, there's absolutely no reason why you wouldn't be like, nah, fuck that, give me the 8 or 9 out of 10. And this idea that other women want to see ugly female characters in their fiction is idiotic. Again, this isn't rational, this isn't logical, this is purely ideological. And you are also only allowed 3 female characters over the age of 30. Like we don't need no 50-year-old bats in our games unless they're in mentorship positions. And this is there because, again, what is your targeted demographic? Young men. So at most, the age range needs to be around 20 to 25. Like maybe you can have one granny in there, but I am looking at Borderlands, the fact that they're all like all the main characters in that are grandmas doing kick flips and shit. And it's like, okay, who is your targeted demographic? Well, I guess for the movie it was PG-13, but whatever. We're talking about video games. Like, I'm looking at that Avowed game, and okay, some of the characters look fine, and some of them look weird. Oh, like Boulder's Gate. Like, they made one of the hottest female characters that was in Boulder's Gate 3, an old lady, and I guess she looked fine, but old lady, why? You're only allowed 3 fat heifers. Look, like I'm looking at what was that game? I can't even remember the name of the game. No, not Forspoken. Concord. Like you have chunky characters that are there for no reason. It's like, I'm a fat fuck in real life. Why the hell do you think I want to see that in my video games? Oh, to be represented? Fuck no. Again, the way I make my characters, like, I was the type of kid who would play 99 Nights, seeing the goofy dude with the flaming yo-yo. What is his name? Uh, Showing my porn. No. Nine Nights. Who was that guy with the flaming yo-yo? I think his name was Miffy? I'm finding this guy's kid. This goofball. I was the type of kid because there's this idea that people want representation. So to play a game, you need to see yourself in a video game, and this is an artificially created standard that people say, and ideologically, you're supposed to agree. But anyone who actually watches anime and plays video games, like I looked at this motherfucker, and I was like, nah, this is me. Like this is me right here, Mifi, and I'd play this game over again. And they try to. It's not only this is artificial; it's ideological. They try to impose this on the consumers, even though it made absolutely no sense whatsoever. So this idea that, oh, if you're fat, you need a fat character in a video game where you're playing kick flips and shit just to see yourself. It's like, God forbid you role play for once in a fictional game. And again, if you legitimately need to see yourself in a video game, play games like Elden Ring with a character creator, where you can literally create yourself if you're autistic enough and willing to spend 8 hours in the character creator. Go ham. But this idea that you need to inject characters into IPs and in the games that make no sense whatsoever. Like Concord, it's like that's a game where you run and gun hero shooter. Why are you adding a fat Mexican character that no one asked for? And we're to the point where even people who are fat and Mexican will see that character and be like, "What the fuck is this doing in my game?" And and the thing is, you're supposed to, like, people will come at you and be like, "No, you will like this. I'm imposing my narcissism, and you must fucking defend it." It's like, no, I don't think I will. Any female character exceeding the limit under a 7 will result in a $10 million fine per character. Exceeding the limit of under 30 years, $20 million fine. Exceeding the limit of fat fucking lard ass bitches, $30 million fine. Trans characters should be fucking hot to where you cannot understand. You don't even know who they if they're trans or not. And failure to do that would be a $100 fine. Lesbians should also be fucking hot as shit. And the failure to adhere to that will be a $200 million fine. And a character's sexuality or gender identity should not define the character in any way, shape, or form. If I feel the implementation of a character is in any way, shape, or form used to push an ideology, $300 million fine will be placed on the developer. This is the thing, because again, people do this thing where they think, oh, a character's identity needs to be the character, and it's like, no. Like, in most cases, the character don't really matter. It's the situation. You put them in that matter. Like, people want to play a game. People don't want to play a telenovela where, like Dragon Age Velgar, we're talking about a dark fantasy. We're talking about gender identity. Like, get that shit out of here. I don't want to fucking see it. What the fuck's wrong with you? Oh yeah, video game journalist. Let's talk about this. See, this should be a part 4, but I'm on a roll here. Any video game journalist caught speaking ill of the consumer and their consumers for any reason will receive a $200 million fine. Your job, as useless as it is information in video game journalism, and therefore you should act like it. And oh yeah, hey, positive spreading of American values. Yeah, I feel like there should be a monetary incentive for, indie devs and sprouting of new IPs in America and maybe across the sea, depending. Yeah, for original IPs and indie game devs who spread creativity and diversity through storytelling, characters, and the setting. This can be anywhere between $500 million up to $1 trillion in grants. This can be based on sales, profits, overall downloads, community activity, as well as the modding community interaction is also a factor. And this is all a rubric, and it should be subjected to change. And that is it. I might post this on Twitter for the whole of 5 people to see. But yeah, I think I'd make a perfect video game czar. Ensure that video games and hey, maybe even other forms of entertainment adhere to spreading positive American values throughout the world through soft power because other countries are doing this. Like other countries are using entertainment to spread their culture throughout the rest of the world. And hey, maybe we should do the same, is what I'm saying. But anyway, that's all I gotta say about this. Peace.